Computer.
Bingo.
Okay, we're recording. Hi, everybody. Good evening. This is Danielle Russo-Slugh, and I'm here with my handsome hubby.
Who is not animated enough for Danielle on this thing, so I'll try to be a little more animated.
I was like, you're staying too still. You need to move Christina and I. We move around a little bit. Okay. So welcome, everybody. This is a team Zoom. Christina is a new friend, a new team member, a couple of months now, jumped into Isagenix with me, and she had some new friends that she's been sharing the products with who have really expressed an interest in learning a lot more about Isagenix. What is this all about? And tonight we are just going to give you a really, really short overview of what we're doing, what we've been doing. And I'm going to introduce you guys to my mentor and my coach. I'll send it to him right here, Lisa DeMayo, just because I can copy and paste it really easily, honey. And Lisa DeMayo introduced Marc and I, and I'll let Marc actually just quickly share what was the state of affairs when Lisa introduced us in 2011 to Isagenix.
Well, in the short time we have, Danielle and I were working on the New York Stock Exchange when 9/11 happened. We had met years before we got married, and we ran our own business on the Florida Stock Exchange. And then when 9/11 happened, obviously it changed everybody's life. It changed our lives very dramatically because we worked there and we lived 4 blocks away also. So the trade centers were in between where we worked and where we lived. Danielle and I volunteered in the pit for the first week that the New York Stock Exchange was closed. And we went back to work and went to live in that area and work in that area for the next 7 years before we moved out of New Jersey. Actually, it was 6 years because I ended up having a heart attack in 2013. No, not 2013.
2006.
2006, I had a heart attack. I still keep it out of my memory, so I don't really want to remember that. We closed our business and we worked a little bit more in that area, but then we moved to New Jersey. And then 10 years to the day, basically to the day of 9/11, I ended up with stage 4 Hodgkin lymphoma cancer. I had it all over my body. I was in pretty bad shape. I had to start an aggressive chemo regimen, and I was losing weight by the minute on my chemo regimen. But Danielle and I were eating right. Once I got diagnosed with cancer, we were basically shopping at the farmer's market, eating all green. She's chasing me around with wheatgrass shots, which were...
That was a disaster. Cutting the wheatgrass.
A lot of people would relate to that. I was just on the bus and I was like dreading this thing. Then it was like...
Thomas, is that you, honey? You're not muted. Yes. Oh, I'll mute you. Okay, there we go.
So... like I said, I was losing weight, eating right, but losing weight. Nothing was sticking to me. And a couple of weeks before I got diagnosed, or like the week I got diagnosed, Lisa DeMayo, who's going to be on later, joined the company, joined Isagenix, and she was on the products for a couple of weeks and said to me that these products are fantastic. I want you to try it, please. And at that point, I had nothing to lose. I was either going to try this or probably drop dead. So I figured I'd go try it. And for me, Isagenix was fantastic. It gave me back energy. It gave me back muscle tone. It gave me back mental clarity. It changed my mindset from I'm going to drop dead to I'm going to live. And we've been on it for 5.5 years. We've made a very, very nice life for ourselves down in Naples, Florida, on the business end of it. Danielle and I, 29 days a month out of 30, we have our breakfast shake, our greens, our, everything in the morning.
Ionics.
Well, Ionics is 30 days a month. I'm not running out of that. But the shakes, once in a while, we'll take the kids out for breakfast. But, when we do that, I know I do, and Danielle probably feels the same. I feel like crap when I don't have my shake in the morning. And it's changed our lives physically, financially, mentally. And I know this is going to be geared towards a business call. And Danielle and I, when we had our business on the floor, we made a shitload of money.
Oh, that's not compliant with Christina. Shitload.
We made a lot of money. We had a very affluent. Somebody mute, please.
Somebody mute. There's one line that's not muted. SM. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before.
So when the business model of Isagenix was very appealing to Danielle and I, because we knew how to make money. We worked on the Florida Stock Exchange, so we knew about companies that were up and coming. We knew companies that were, had the right management. We knew companies that were in the right trajectory on how to make money and how to, expand their businesses. And we did a lot of due diligence on Isagenix and found the products are great, the business was great, the management team is great. And we jumped in, and it was one of the better decisions we made.
I was also, I was floored by the quality and the no compromise formula. So many of you are, Cannonball. Many of you are experiencing for the first time, those of you that are new with the products, you're like, wow, these formulas are pretty amazing. Or if you're not an analyzer and you're not really into the whole science thing, you may just be like, wow, this is, 10 times easier than me making the chicken and the broccoli and the wild rice and all of these, clean eating recipes that you could make yourself crazy. It was just such an easy solution for us because I wanted to clean up all the juicers on my counter. And, at that time we were in a disaster physically, as we were sharing with you, recovering from heart attack, but now dealing with stage 4 cancer. And we were in a disaster financially. So when I could understand that I was having the ability to now build a global business with no overhead situation, and Christina and I really talked so much before she jumped in with both feet, cannonball in the deep end, about the overhead and how much, painstaking overhead the real estate business takes. So many of you on her team know her in a real estate capacity. Maybe some of you are just moms, in her neighborhood and know her from school or something. So that's great as well. But you can understand that we were just floored by the ability of upside potential to be the same as Wall Street, but yet with less stress, no heart attacks, right? Building healthy bodies and no overhead. And building a residual and passive income. So the queen of building a residual and passive income, I believe, is now joined me here on the phone. And Lisa, we've got a lot of people that are dialed in on the phone tonight. So not many people looking at your face. I know Lisa is absolutely a stunningly beautiful person inside.
I don't know if you can tell. Can you see? You can't even tell.
No, I can't even see, but she literally looks like a supermodel from the stage. And if you can go to her Facebook page, you'll see 1,000 photos of us together. She looks like a supermodel, but she had some things this morning done on her procedure. And she's like, I don't look good today. I'm like, I don't care. I just need you to talk.
So I had a crazy laser peel and they burn off all your skin. And I had no idea now everybody's videos are going to pop up.
I want to see what she looks like. Lisa, I was congratulating Isagenix in the beginning of this call to just make sure people knew, we're celebrating 15 years. We're celebrating crossing 5 billion with a B. And that's only a true testament to how many people we've been able to reach as a company to change the world physically and financially and make it a better place at both angles. But I think tonight, many of the people they wanted to hear a little bit about your story, your history, and your vision of where we're going and what kind of rocket ship do they have a seat in right now.
Thank you, Danielle. Hi, Marc. Hi,
Jordan.
Hi, Thomas. Hi, Christina. Hi, Laura. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. And poor Danielle, she gets these crazy voice texts from me all the time. And you guys, I'm not foreign to the industry. I've been in the industry a very long time. I'm a leadership coach and executive coach. And in the coaching world, I've met so many network marketers. So I dabbled in quite a bit quite a bit different companies, not because I wanted to build a business, because I was interested in learning how the top leaders coach. What do they talk about? How do they change a person's mindset? And along the way, signed up here and there and sold some product, and through osmosis and then figuring it out, I'd make a couple of $1,000s a month and really never put any thought into it until I joined a company in 2005. And in 5 months, because of my leadership skills and team building skills, was able to get to that company, that top of that company, within 5 months. And I made a couple of $100,000. I did well, but I was out every night of the week. It was a direct selling model disguised as a network marketing model. And I was trading time for money in a sense. It was just because there's companies out there and incredible products, it doesn't mean that you have an opportunity to make over 7 figures a year. But I didn't know that, and you don't know what you don't know. So for 2 years, my sponsor, Lynn Hagedorn, and I, and a bunch of other people spent a lot of time looking at compensation plans, learning about companies. And this company that was doing about $150 million a year in sales, called Isagenix, kept coming up as one of the ones we should watch. It was almost like watching a hot stock, this is going back 8.5 years ago. And we watched this company, 150, 200 million. And there are 3 things you want to know in a network marketing company. You want to know that the products, the comp plan, and the systems all work synergistically. And you have to have this tripod. So in my former company, we had amazing products. The products were great, but the compensation plan was awful. And the more I learned about it, the more I was getting more and more to believe. At this point now, I'm number 14 in income. I'm an international speaker. I built a downline of 50,000 people. I'm heading for divorce. My coaching partner, who I had coached with for many, many years, is dying of pancreatic cancer. And I decide to walk away from my entire network marketing income in this company because the risk of staying there and missing the Isagenix boat was too great for me. So in 2011, I literally resigned from that company, started in Isagenix the next day, 3 kids in tow, with $0 following me from my former company, put my earbuds in my ear, I set my butt at my computer, and within 4 months, I had replaced my monthly income that took me 6 years to build in my former company. And you guys, let me tell you why. I know it blows me away too, Jordan, just blows me away that that I'm making $1.1 or $1.2 million a year right now. And when I talk about 1.9 million, that's my reality for this year. And the credibility that we're getting from Danielle and Marc growing their business the way they have, and Laura growing, and Jordan growing, and Dee growing, and Joy just becoming a millionaire. And what we're seeing now in our team, the amount of people hitting 6 figures, mid 6 figures, that this is now, it's not a nice idea for people. People are realizing it's a reality. And there's this mad dash to do what I just did. And everything is in place. The system is in place. The products are in place. The comp plan rocks. And to think about right now that we are launching into our 13th country and preparing to go into the EU. And this is when it truly explodes. This is when you hear companies are in 186 different countries. To know where we're heading, and we truly are only a 15-year-old company, a rock solid company. This for me, when I talk about going to the UK right now and how hot Isagenix is, it's ground floor opportunity. It is completely wide open in the United States because the company beautifully hedged themselves by going international very, very quickly. So starting up in Australia, in Canada, and then moving to New Zealand. And as they started this global expansion, Mexico, it's less and less saturation in any one demographic. And I'm going to say this, and Christina, I'm sure you can relate well to this. And Danielle and Marc, my gosh, I don't think any 2 people can feel this more than they can feel this. in this day and age, and I just watched this bus run over, this SUV run over people in London, and I'm watching this, and my heart is in my chest because I'm going for 2 weeks with the Slughs and my kids and thinking about what's going on in our world. When 9/11 happened, if we had happened to be doing Isagenix at that point, do you think any one of us would care if anybody bought a value pack that week? Like, seriously, who cared? We were in bed, glued to the TV, praying our loved ones were alive. It was home base for us, in our hearts, in our spirit, complete and total devastation. As you move across the country, you can still feel it, but you didn't feel it the way we felt it. You certainly didn't feel like that in Australia. You felt the universal sadness, but it wasn't impacted the way that we were, crippled. You couldn't move. With what is going on in our world, if you are not international and you are not hedging yourself, you are setting yourself up for disaster. Don't leave your money in any one demographic. When Hurricane Sandy hit, and Danielle and Marc stayed with me for a little bit, and Marc couldn't work because of what he was going through, and she had this incredible business rocking, and we had no hot water, no heat. She got her check every Monday morning from her teams all over the place, massively growing. We weren't even thinking, is it Monday, is it Tuesday, did we get a double PI bid? We weren't thinking anything. But it was far removed for Australia. And on the West Coast, they didn't know. They heard it, that there was a big hurricane. And then they flipped through the news channel. When you have a business in Canada and Australia and New Zealand and Mexico and the United States, when anything happens any one place and you still have money coming in, you're protecting you and your family. And I think of it like this. If I were to hire you today, Lorraine, and I said, I'm giving you this job, congratulations, here's your piece of stock, and I give you this big block of stock, and I say to you, every single time you sponsor 2 people, you've just carved more shares. And the way that you can earn $1 million this year is by sponsoring people and accumulating the stock. And the stock is like bricks, like building a wall of security. The stock is people all around you. And if you knew you were going to get fired by the end of the month, if you didn't have a certain amount of people in, what would you do differently? And I think what happens is, because this is autonomous and it requires a strong self of being self-generative, people don't give it the attention it deserves. And when you truly, truly understand how life-changing this is, you will go full steam ahead. And here's the crazy part of this whole thing. Somebody said to me, what you guys do is weird. And I said, it was a friend of mine. I said, you think we're weird? Here's what I think is weird. You wake up to an alarm clock when it's dark. You rush to get ready. You drink coffee in your car to sit in traffic for an hour, to go sit in a cubicle and stare at a screen and sneak out on a lunch break. You have somebody else dictate your self-worth. You get paid for only 2 weeks of vacation and have to submit a request for days off. And then you sit back in traffic and you pray for Sunday night, unless you have to go in on Saturday, and you think celebrating people who make 6 figures as a part-time income, or somebody who loses 50 pounds, or somebody who gets their health back on track, and celebrating them is weird? I think what's happening is we're so dummied down and numb to the fact that our reality is somebody else's reality for us that we can't even see the vision of what this is. And when you truly grasp it, and you're in my shoes or Danielle's shoes or Jordan's shoes, and you see the change, you talk to everybody. Because my kids have a mom that's home every day. My daughter said today, Mom, it's like almost weird in school when I tell people, yeah, but last year we were in Australia, and then when we came home, we were home for a couple of weeks, and then we went to Hawaii, and now we're going to London, and my mom was just talking to her friend, and we may go to Italy for 2 weeks. She's like, that's not what other kids do. And she had to submit a form today. She's in 9th grade in all honors classes, and she had to submit, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they have to do a paper on it. And she texted me from school, and I said, an entrepreneur. And he said, no, you have to pick a job. And I said, no, you tell him your mother is probably the most successful in your school, and she's an entrepreneur. And that means she invests in real estate. She has a massive network marketing business. Tell him you want to be an MLMer. And she's like, Mom, I said that. And he said, you can't predict the money. And I said, tell him if you get 2 people in every week, yes, you can. And she was like, texting me back, Mom, stop it. They said, this is what troubles me, is that in school, they're forcing these kids to think in the box. Go get a good job. Accumulate lots of debt by getting a good job when you graduate college and spend your whole life paying off your student loans and start out at $60,000 a year. I wanted to start off at $60,000 a month, and I'm going to show you guys 2 of my first checks. Hang on.
I saw her get this, and then we had to figure out how to get it on the airplane.
And people were like, what is that? I always recruit people on airplanes. Always, always, always. So this was in January, September, October, November, December, January, 4 months after I started. That was an extra bonus, $30,000 for the month. 30,000, what is it, 500?
Yeah.
That was an extra bonus on top of my cycles. And then this was August 2012. So this was 1 year later with one of the bonus pools on top of my monthly income, an extra, what is that?
$86,469.
Yeah, that was just one pool bonus. So that money, which just paid for my basement, right? It's like $100,000 here is 1 month of pool money. That came from 5 on the left, 5 on the right, all getting 2, and doing that again, because it's never your original 10. It's going to be your 20. It's going to be your original 10 aren't going to find their 2, and you're going to say, what's wrong with me? And I'm going to say, there's nothing wrong with you. You're building a customer base. Keep doing it, and you may have to sponsor 20, 30, 40 people to find their 2. And I never put my checkbook in somebody else's hand to write my check. I wrote my own by sponsoring more people who saw the vision the way that I did and meeting people where they are. And you guys, this is vitally important. When you get your solid 10, so maybe you have 20 consultants, but when you get your solid 10, you get a match on their effort. So right now, I've maxed out my first position at 250 cycles times $54. The cycle is the left and the right. You're getting your 900 BV. You're getting paid 6%. I maxed that out with people like Danielle and Jordan and Tom. Everybody's working. You get everything underneath that. So you're maxing out that center at about $13,000 a week. But I'm currently making in that first position about $19,000 a week. So how is that possible when you're capped at $13,000? Because you get a 10% match of everybody you've personally sponsored as long as you are paid as executive. So right now I'm looking to double that match, and it'll be about $27,000 a week in that first position. So when you're sponsoring people, you're breathing life into them. You want them to succeed. You can't dwell on the people that don't want it. You just got to keep moving forward and finding the people who do. And it's a joint effort. And the reason why Christina is pouring into so many of you is she wants you to make as much money as she does. She wants you to be as successful as she is. She can only be more successful through your success. And in corporate, I don't believe that exists. I don't believe there's a CEO out there saying, Danielle, I want you to be just as good or better than me. Because then he risks or she risks losing their job. But in network marketing, in the true network marketing model, which is Isagenix, and there's no other comp plan out there, and we checked all of them, there is no pay structure like this. So you guys, we're inviting people into a way of life to drink incredible products and drink the shakes, drink the ionics, drink the cleanse, and completely change their bodies. But more than that, we're inviting them into a vision. And when people say no and they don't get it, they can't see beyond their own circumstances. Nothing to do with what you're doing right or wrong. They have been so conditioned by corporate thinking. They have been so conditioned to think in a box. Starting with my daughter at age 15, being told by a teacher, no, an entrepreneur is not a real job. Not a real job. You need to pick an occupation. We're being conditioned like that. And then we're going out as visionaries and we're talking to people and saying, no, you can have a dream where you build a virtual franchise and you don't have overhead, and virtual franchises allow you to go international with a laptop and a cell phone and capitalize on all those markets without any overhead. And the only overhead is your value pack that you're going to put in your body. And people say, well, no, that won't work. So, that's our struggle. Is we're visionaries and we're working in an industry, in a world where people are so conditioned that sitting on the freeway or going to a cubicle or answering to a boss and making a certain amount of money is a reality. So that's your uphill battle, is to find like-minded people through your energy, your commitment, your determination, your persistence, who think the way that we do. And you're lucky enough to find a handful of Danielles and Jordans and Thomases and Christinas and Dees and Joys and Stephen and Susie and all these people, and you're getting 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% in one position, and then you start your other position and you're looking at $27,000 a week plus $27,000 a week, and you're retired in a couple of years. And you think about it. Where else can something like this happen? And when I saw this comp plan and I heard this for the first time, I sat down. Within 4 months, I had replaced my income. Within a year, I was on track for $1 million a year. Within 2 years, I made my first $1 million, and now I'm making over 7 figures a year. And I am the only single mom making 7 figures right now in Isagenix. So how many people said, oh, you can only do it if you're a couple? Really? I don't believe that either. So for all of you out there who are thinking, you know what, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Ask, how am I going to get the job done? What do I need to do? What haven't I done that I need to do now? And just start asking yourself different questions to open up the opportunity for expansion and create a new reality. And it's through conditioning in your mind. It's believing, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. It's by only allowing people who are going to move you forward to penetrate your thoughts. And you have to be so conditioned and so aware, because negativity is so insidious. And people will not only doubt themselves, but they're going to doubt you. And the second that creeps in, they steal your money. They steal your money. And I used to hear, guard your mind like $1 million suitcase. So you're bringing somebody else's conditions, because they've been conditioned that way from school. They've had a job. They can't see beyond what their reality is. And then they're telling you, no, it won't work. No, it won't work. But I lived on the other side of that, and I watched my dad die of brain cancer, and my mom struggle with 3 jobs and almost lose our home and grew up poor, and the corporate thing didn't work in my family. And I will tell you this, and I'll leave you guys with this, because there's nobody more capable than Danielle to finish this out. In the height of network marketing, when I was in the wrong company, but the right industry, and I knew I was in the wrong company, I took a break. And I took a break because my mentor and coach was dying of pancreatic cancer, and she had about 3 months. And it was Christmas week, and I went to St. Vincent's Hospital downtown, very close to the financial district in Manhattan. And I went there day after day after day, and I just sat there, and she was in and out of a coma, and I held her hand and just stayed with her. And I was the only person there visiting in the daytime because everybody else had a job. And when I think about network marketing and what it means to truly bring people home, in that moment, and I'll never forget it, I looked out the window and I was in St. Vincent's Hospital. I was sitting in the vestibule and I thought, how many people are dying alone because somebody can't leave their job to go fly to Florida to see their parents, or they can't get there. And there are people all over. And I remember my dad, and we had him in my home. We didn't put him in hospice, and my mom was working 3 jobs and I was in school, and it was the same scenario. And this is way more than money. It's beyond money. It has nothing to do with the money. It is the freedom that goes with this lifestyle. And that's what we're inviting you to really own. It's the freedom when the rainy days come, when Danielle had to be with Marc and went through what my mom went through at such a young age, that she didn't worry about her check. She didn't need to call somebody and say, I can't come in again, and worry about getting fired because somebody else could be there. She was able to be with him. And literally, I watched this woman breathe life into her husband and figure out whatever she needed to do emotionally, spiritually, financially to have him come back. And watching that, I would do what I do to the day I die, day in and day out, no matter how many people say no or it wouldn't work, because I don't know where Marc would have been if this girl didn't do everything in her power to change the circumstance and literally bring him back. And it's because of the power of residual income. It was the power of team. It was the power of support that allowed her that mindset to keep going, and the energy and the force, the energy behind all of us, behind Marc. And, they're just a rock star couple. They're amazing. His contribution to us, I don't think we would be where we are if not for the two of them and all they've done. So you guys, fastest growing team in the company. Our sponsors are number one. The company is skyrocketing. International expansion. I don't know what else somebody could need to see to think, does it really work? So thank you, Danielle. Thank you, guys. Christina, you're doing exactly what I did, love. You're doing exactly what I did. Just keep doing it. Don't stop. Put your blinders on. Get your 10. Get your 10 again, have them max out, get everybody to get that 5-cycle bonus. Go for that 5-cycle bonus. Do not go to sleep if you don't have a double PIB. Don't take $80 when you could be taking $320. Never, ever, ever let Isagenix have the money that belongs to you. Take every single penny. If it's Sunday night and you get a value pack, don't go to bed until you get another one. That has been my rule of thumb since I started. And I could easily retire now. And my income will grow. My team is on fire. My income would grow. But my vision is to max out Second Center about $2 million a year. I just invested in a massive piece of real estate for the first time and started expanding in different things. And it's been amazing. So thanks, Danielle. Love you, Marc.
Love you.
He comes up and big and healthy he looks. And I want to thank all of you for showing up so I could get on tonight. So thanks, everybody.
Now you know why I wanted you guys to meet her. Thank you, Lisa. And not a day goes by without us waking up and thinking, thank you for changing our lives. Thank you for going first. Thank you for paying it forward. Thank you for being the leader. Thank you for just being relentless and just paying it forward in a way that helps people be the best they can be, because you always lead by example. And you're right, at this point when you make that kind of money, it would be really great to just be out shopping every day. I don't know. What do people do? Would drink a pina colada out of a coconut maybe someday?
Can you imagine? I'd be bored out of my mind. I'm so excited to be going to the UK and Canada. And I'm going to California for a week. Christina, I'm going to be in California for a week, just chilling out on the beach, doing yoga, and then Miami, and then Las Vegas. And, it's a fun life. And that's my reality. So you got to think, what are you doing to create yours? And the cool part is that I'm doing it with my children, that my children are growing up, and they always say, Mom, are there going to be other ISA kids there? And it's funny, like this crazy bond, but they could meet, and in 2 seconds they're best friends, and they want to sleep over with somebody they've never met before because of this ISA bond that we have. So I'm not sitting around I said I wasn't traveling this year after 4 continents last year, but I guess I'm a gypsy at heart. So hope to see you guys in my travels. And
I will see you for big hugs at ISA University in New Jersey. Anybody on Christina's team, I know we've got a lot of people here. I don't see the faces. They're all on the phones tonight. I have to get used to this Zoom thing. And you could do Zoom from the smartphone, guys, so we can see your smiling faces. But anybody last minute wants to meet Lisa DeMayo and myself and sit with us and get lots of hugs at ICU New Jersey, you can just jump on a plane, do what you got to do to get there on Thursday the 30th for the opening evening with Kathy and Jim Coover, the owners of Isagenix, and come feel the vibe, see the culture. Carrie Thomas, a bunch of us will be there with Lisa. And, I never say you are too far away, because Lisa, Michael Klaus always tells the story of an early, way back in the day of network marketing. He was chatting with a gentleman that he had just enrolled and said, tomorrow I'm leaving for a very big meeting. And the gentleman said to him, well, is it far? And he said, yeah, it's on the other side of the country. I booked my tickets. This is old school. This is, 25 years ago. I booked my tickets a long time ago, and I'm sure it's not possible for you to get a ticket, thinking that the next day, travel is such a high price for a day later. And the gentleman said to him, well, Michael, if it's that important, I'll be there. I own a plane. I'll be there. So I don't know who I'm dealing with here, Christina. I don't know your people yet. I don't know who's got access to a jet share. So who knows who wants to meet Lisa and I? There's an airport very close right there.
All right, guys, I will certainly get you tickets. Well, thank you for having me, Danielle. I'm going to jump. Love you, Marc.
Have a great night.
So good seeing
you.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye. So guys, just to wrap up, I know Lisa had to jump, and just to wrap up, because we don't normally go more than about 25 to 30 minutes, and now we're quite over,
but you got some pretty good Lisa DeMayo coaching.
You got some pretty good Lisa DeMayo
I've heard
coaching.
a lot. That was pretty good.
I just want to leave you with really what is the next step. So step 1 was putting the product in your body, right? And I think almost all of you are doing that. Step 2 is we've got to share that with people. And many people don't know what to do or don't know what to say. And many people are not, don't have the skill level to start social media the way you're seeing Christina to do it. She's an extraordinary example of attraction marketing, and she's done some coaching around it. So what I'd like to offer is for anyone to go back to the old school basics. And some of those include a 3-way message, and we take it to a 3-way phone call. And Christina and I did this brilliantly with Kilwan and Stephanie and some other folks on her team. So she'll loop me in and say, this is my coach Danielle, and my mentor, my friend Danielle. I want to introduce you to, for example, my friend Jordan. Jordan may have some questions, and I jump in and say, oh my gosh, I'd love to help. What are your goals? What are you looking for? So this way we all do it in a manner at which your friend or family or prospect, I hate to use the word prospect, but your friend, your family, your colleague, they don't feel like I'm coming in for a close. They don't feel intimidated. They feel very supported. They feel like their questions could be answered. They feel like it's a very safe environment. We would respect anybody's budget, and we say that right up front. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to make sure that you know, Christina doesn't have the right answer to a question, I'm here to back her up and make sure she doesn't, you know, flub it up. So we do that for each other. So ask us. We will help you speak to your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, your friend, because it is really hard to do it on your own and if you don't know what to say and you think you're going to say the wrong thing. So human nature is to say nothing. And this is a business where we have to share. And your enthusiastic testimony, sometimes when you just say like, holy crap, I jumped out of bed before the alarm clock rang and I didn't even have any coffee and I feel fantastic. Sometimes that's all you have to say. And then you say, I don't know what's in this stuff, but I gotta get my friend Danielle on the phone so she can explain it all. So sometimes when you just dummy it down to that, that's what's gonna help you get those initial 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the tree using the products, and then you kind of build your confidence and you hear what we're saying and what the questions we're asking. So I offer that to all of you. Please, please, please book us for 3-way conversations, 3-way messages, 3-way texts. It really is helpful to have that third-party validation, and we're here to serve you. So any last questions before we disconnect for the night? Anybody? I mute. You guys can unmute yourselves. I muted everybody, but if anybody has questions, concerns, thoughts, please, please. This is just scratching the surface, you guys. If it's helpful, then I'd like to start a weekly team Zoom for Christina's infant team to build up and really help everybody strengthen their skill set and the habits that it will take to build this on the long-term basis. It's just like anything, exercising that muscle and exercising those habits. So if that's all, we can go. Otherwise, last call. Any quick questions or comments?
I'm good.
We're good?
I got a post on social
Yeah.
media.
Christy, she's ready to post. All right, guys. Have a fantastic night.
Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Bye. See you
Bye,
next time.
everybody.
That was good.